Hi guys. So since not everybody can be here to go over the puppy packet, I am going to go over the puppy packet with you and post the video. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet because I don't know how long it will take for Jason's making fun of me. I don't know how long it'll take for the video to upload if I make it really long. So, couple things you are going to find in the puppy packet. Golden Retriever Club of America put out a 2 packets to send home with our puppy buyers. One is on pigmentary uveitis. The other is on dilated cardiomyopathy in Golden Retrievers, aka diet-associated heart disease. At the bottom of the second page, you will find the dog foods, Purina Pro Plan 30/20, and any brand or any variety of Royal Canin that Jasara Golden Retrievers recommends. Basically with pigmentary uveitis, the packet goes into it. You can read more about it. If you have questions, you can just ask me. The Golden Retriever Club of America recommends that you, Jason's making faces at me from the other side of the camera, recommends that you do eye clearances on your dogs every year. I recommend this to my puppy buyers. So if you guys want to do eye clearances and you want to take them to a veterinary ophthalmologist, contact me. I will find a place for you to go. And then once you get the little piece of paper, it's anywhere between 35 and 45 bucks if you go to a clinic. If you don't go to a clinic, sometimes it's up to 55. But if you want to send me a copy of that, it's a white piece of paper and I will submit it to OFA every year for you for free. You don't have to pay anything but the eye exam. So there's those. Those are going to be in the puppy packet. Your puppy folder is going to look like this. My sister does these for me.
Huge glare.
Oh, it's a huge glare. Can you see it
Bad,
now?
much better.
Okay. So everybody's going to get a puppy packet like this. And it's going to have a bunch of stuff in it. This one is not assembled yet. None of them are assembled yet. So the next thing we're going to go over is this is called Socializing Your Puppy. I call it 100 people in 100 days. Basically, it goes through, in 100 days, meet 100 people doing 100 different things. So people on rollerblades, people dancing, thin people, heavy people, people on crutches. I've been telling people over the years, put this on your refrigerator, tear it apart, put it on your fridge. When you do one, cross it off. This is a great way to socialize your puppy. Sprinklers, having other people pick them up, clippers, balloons, just anything you can think of to socialize your puppy. But like I said, tear this apart, hang it on your fridge, cross it off when you do one. And the more you socialize the puppy, the better your puppy's going to be in all kinds of situations later. There are fear stages. When they're not going through a fear stage, which is right after they go home, is, usually the best time. But we'll get into vaccinations here in a minute and why you need to wait till they're 14 weeks old. Okay, so then another thing. Overfeeding your puppies. We'll go over how to check. So there's a couple pages in here on ideal body condition. Purina released some of these a long time ago, like this one. So it's a copy of a copy of a copy. There's another one. So rule of thumb, for those that don't know, when you make your hand into a fist like this, if your dog is standing in front of you, head here, butt here, and you feel their ribs like this. If you feel their ribs and it feels like your knuckles when you make a fist, they're too skinny. If you feel them and you feel the ribs and it feels like you're rubbing the palm of your hand right here, they're too fat. Now, if you flip it over and your hand is relaxed like this, and you feel your knuckles, but you feel some meat in between and back and forth, that's just ideal. Now, puppies are going to go through growth stages. Sometimes they're going to feel way too skinny. Sometimes they're going to feel way too fat. Just keep their food the same unless they're really, really, really skinny. You can increase it, but increase it by a 1/4 cup once a day only. So if you feel them getting skinny like this, just a 1/4 cup once a day only. And if you have questions, guys, anytime you have questions on anything, holler. That's what I'm here for. Another thing. This is a 2-week-old puppy. This is an x-ray of a 2-week-old puppy. This is an x-ray of a 2-year-old dog. There is a lot of growth going on here between baby to adult. Their joints are babies. There's not a lot of bone growth yet. They're rapidly growing. Make sure you don't overwork your puppies. No jumping off the bed, no jumping up and down stairs. Carry them. I carry my puppies until they are at least 6 months old up and down our stairs. They do not get to walk or go up and down the stairs. Rule of thumb is if this is their paw and this is their elbow, the distance that they can go up and down is half the height. So only half the height from the elbow to the wrist. They're babies, walks, no more than 1/4 of a mile right now, and that's a walk, that's not running. They can free run around your yard, but no running them, biking them until they are at least 18 months old. They're too little. Golden Retriever puppies will do anything you ask them to do. They will work themselves to death. So there's a part of this talks about visiting Puppy Culture. It's a website you can look at. It also lists some of the exercises you can and cannot do until they're a certain age. Next, I have training exercises. One of the things in here, it talks about chewing. Basically, guys, if you don't want your puppy to do it as an adult, don't let them get away with it now. You need to make your puppy the best family member possible. They're babies, they're sponges. Everything you do from the time you get them home till they're 2 years old, they're learning. So you don't want your 80-pound puppy jumping up on you, then don't let them do it when they're babies. Tell them no. Teach them discipline now. Take them to puppy kindergarten, puppy obedience classes when those things open back up. But if you don't want them doing it as an 80-pound adult, don't let them get away with it at this point. This talks about chewing. Don't let them chew on stuff. Only give them appropriate things to chew on. House training. There's a lot of stuff in there. One big thing that I'm going to talk about, it's on page 4, bell training. Bell training is fantastic. I have taught several dogs to bell train. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Hobby Lobby, Walmart, get one of those ringy bells like you see at Christmas, put it on a string or put it on a ribbon, take it to the door, put it on the door. Every time you go outside with the puppy, you're going to boop their nose to it and make the bell ring. You don't want their paw because as they get older, they're going to take that nice claw and go right down your door. And pretty soon you've got this beautiful door that's all scratched up because the dog is scratching at it telling you he's got to go potty. But what they'll do is eventually they'll ring that to tell you they've got to go outside, and then they'll go like this. They'll nose to the door like I got to go potty instead of scratching at it. So there's a lot of good training tips in here. Read it. There's 10 pages worth of training tips. Next thing in here, foods that you can feed your dog and cannot feed your dog. Lovely little pictures. Then once you get in here a few pages, you're going to see this at the top of one of the pages, the no section. Anything after this, you cannot feed your dogs ever. They will get sick. Grapes will kill your puppy. They do not recommend green beans or peas for your dog. But there is lots of healthy vegetables and things that you can feed your dog. There is a letter to your veterinarian. Now, I started doing this, and I have had several vets actually contact me after they've seen this. They love this. So this is a letter that you're going to take to your veterinarian. The first part, it has my contact information, the date, and then it's just introducing myself to your vet so that they get a sense of who I am. Then it's got your puppy's name that you can write in here, their microchip number, the sex, and their date of birth, and then health history. In this health history, it talks about waiting to spay and neuter. That's part of your contract you're going to sign. It talks about Vectra 3D, which is what I recommend for flea and ticks. I recommend the Interceptor Plus if you're going to do heartworm, because it catches all 4 worm types. It talks about the vaccines, which we'll get to here in a second. Basically, here's the thing, guys, with vaccines. Don't overload your puppy. If you're going to do their next set of vaccinations is probably the most crucial set of vaccinations. That's their 12-week one. If you get none of them on time besides this one, make sure you get the 12-week vaccination done on time. The reason is because a lot of states require that you get the rabies done shortly thereafter. What you don't need to do, and what I don't want you to do with your puppy, if you get a combination vaccine, which is what they just got here on Wednesday, wait and put that rabies off for 2 weeks. So if you get their 12-week shot, which is a combo shot at 12 weeks, then wait till they're 14 weeks old, then get their rabies. If you can hold off as long as possible on that rabies. I usually, unless my puppies are born like now, my puppies will probably get it at 12 weeks or a little bit later because we have rabies in our area. Wait as long as you can, but make sure you get your rabies at an appropriate time because most of us do live in an area where there's rabies. But if you do the Bordetella, do not do the injection, do the intranasal. Your vet will know the difference. The intranasal just seems to work better than the injection. But don't overload your puppy. Don't go get a 7-way shot, the rabies, Bordetella, and lepto all at once. Please don't do that. I've had one puppy so far where they gave the puppy all those vaccines. He had an autoimmune response, and the insides of his eyelids looked like raspberries. And he was on steroid eye drops for 6 months. It was kind of a pain. In his eyes, it hurt. I mean, think about if you had all those bumps and every time you blinked or moved your eye, it was rubbing over your eyeball. We have enough autoimmune issues with golden retrievers that we don't need to add to it by crashing their immune system at a young age. So if you have questions about vaccines, ask me, but don't overload your puppy. It's just like kids. You wouldn't give your kids their baby shots every single year their entire life. So after they get through this first year, this is why this is singled out. So get 8, 12, and 16 weeks, and then you wait a year from the 16-week mark to do their last puppy vaccine. And I'm going to stop it here for a second so we can do another video because I know this is getting long.